Okay, first I'm going to start by making the sauce. I'm going to make about a 3 to 4 recipe of it because this is a lot of work and it's nice to make it in advance, and then I can cook this dish many times throughout the week and it goes a lot faster. So this is about a little handful of sweet chilies. Like, they are a little bit spicy. I got them at the bulk section of my local Winco. I love my local Winco because we have a nice Mexican immigrant population, and that means we have a lot of really nice diverse ingredients at that Winco, a nice Mexican ingredient section. This is one of the many reasons why I love having immigrants living in my community. I really love having them here and I want them to stay. So I've got these Mexican chilies that are not very spicy, and I have these Thai chilies that are very spicy, and I just soaked these in hot water for about a half hour. I'm gonna just rip them out with my bare hands because I'm holding a camera with the other into a mini chopper food processor. I recently learned that you're kind of technically not supposed to use this water that I spilled on the hot pad because it can be bitter, but I'm reserving it, a little bit of it, just in case I need moisture for this concoction, this sauce. So now I'm adding a handful of chopped garlic. This is chili garlic noodles, so it had better have a lot of chili and a lot of garlic in it. That's like, I don't know, 2 to 3 tablespoons of chopped garlic. You know, I never use a recipe when I make this either. I always just eyeball it and cook from the heart. And a tablespoon of chopped ginger. Now my hands are all gross. Now I do not use a recipe, I just wing it. But this is kind of like Thai cuisine. I invented this recipe, I just wing it, and it's delicious. I've made it actually once before in my intuitive eating video that I did, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. Anyway, I'm tossing some sugar in. You really want to be generous with the sugar because it balances with the chili, the heat from the chilies, especially the Thai chilies, and with the acidity from the rice wine vinegar that I am adding right now. This is like, I don't know, a teaspoon or 2. I'm gonna go easy on the vinegar. For a little funk and umami, a little fish sauce. Again, probably just a couple teaspoons. And like all these liquid ingredients, I can adjust as I cook the final dish later, so I'm not too concerned. It's really the garlic, ginger, and chili that I want to like have a lot of. I'm adding a little soy sauce. Again, this is kind of more just for moisture to help blend the paste together. And then I'm going to add some MSG. Again, probably a couple teaspoons. Look at that beautiful, rich, fiery red color. That is gorgeous. All right, this is enough sauce for about 3 to 4 recipes of this dish. I like to make, a batch of it since it is a process. And that way, later in the week when I cook this meal, it is going to be a lot easier and faster. So I poured it into this 1 cup container, and it made exactly a cup. So now onto the dish proper. You can use whatever vegetables you like or whatever vegetables you happen to have on hand. Right here I have some steak fat. We cooked steak yesterday. It was delicious. I saved the fat because that is so flavorful, and I'm going to use that to build the dish. If I need any more fat, I will just supplement with some oil. But I'm getting this wok nice and screaming hot with that fat. And on the side I also have a pot of water, which I will bring to the boil for our noodles. So this dish goes by pretty quickly, so it is one of those dishes where you do want to prep. I think that eggplant is essential to this dish. Tofu is also really nice if you happen to have it. I don't right now, and I think eggplant is more important to me than tofu. This is just my favorite combination of vegetables for this dish. I really like the contrast of the crisp sweetness of these sweet peppers, and I like the pops of color that they provide with the silky texture of the eggplant. And then I like the nice, bright, sweet pops of snow pea. And then ordinarily I'd use spinach, but I have nasturtiums growing in my garden. So these are nasturtium greens. They behave quite similarly to spinach, actually, culinarily speaking. They cook very quickly. And they have a nice peppery flavor, kind of like arugula. And some scallion is nice in there too. Okay, the wok is screaming hot. You can tell because there's wisps of smoke. In goes the eggplant. I have salted this eggplant and pressed it between paper towels for about 10-15 minutes. A lot of people talk about, you know, ways to make eggplant more palatable, like soaking it and salting it and straining it and whatever, and I feel like those people just don't like eggplant and they're trying to turn it into something that it isn't. If you're one of those people, just, you know, embrace that and don't eat eggplant. It's okay to not like eggplant. I, however, love eggplant. I don't think you need to do very much to it to make it delicious. I mean, there are a couple tricks to the trade. Like, eggplant is very thirsty. It will tend to soak up a lot of grease. And the danger of cooking eggplant is using too much grease because, you know, your pan dries out and you freak out and you think, oh no, I have to add more grease. Your eggplant will soak up grease on the first side, and then when you kind of flip it, it will release the grease again. So resist the temptation to add too much grease. I am probably going to add a little more. Also, if you cover your eggplant, that will prevent it from drying out without needing to add so much grease. Okay, it's only been like a minute or two. You're already getting some pretty deep color on this eggplant because I cut it pretty small. Eggplant takes the longest to cook by far, so I put it in first. I'm going to add the sweet peppers now. I like the sweet peppers to be a little bit crisp in the dish, but they don't have to be. It's okay if they're soft. And this is where I am going to add a little more oil. Now the whites of the scallions. I'd say start to finish, like once your wok is hot enough and you add the eggplant, this dish takes only about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes to cook all the way through. I just added the ramen noodles even though the water was not quite boiling. Add my snow peas now. So, real talk, this is ready for the noodles, but the noodles are not yet ready, so I'm just going to take it off the burner. You can do things like that. One thing I hate about home cook stoves. So, here's a little something, here's a tidbit. If you watch a lot of bigger food YouTubers who have really fancy, home studio kitchens, they probably have really nice equipment. You probably do not have very nice equipment. You, an average cook. If you, like me, have a stove that's a little inconsistent, a little weak, you might find yourself in this kind of situation where this is done and this is not, because this burner is mysteriously a lot weaker than that burner randomly. Like, sometimes of the day this burner won't be like this, other the times of the day it will be like this. Sometimes if you're using 2 burners at once, like, it can't handle the load of energy. There's a lot of factors that go into home cooking that a lot of more professional cooks won't really talk to you about. This is one of those things. So I've removed that from the heat so that it won't burn or get overcooked, so that this can cook properly. Now these noodles, I am not cooking them according to the package directions. I'm undercooking them ever so slightly. If you cook these noodles until they're done and then put them into the stir fry and add all that, wet chili garlic sauce, it's going to get very gummy and soggy. So undercook these noodles by like 30 seconds to a minute. Okay, the noodles are done. I have drained them. I'm going to add now the nasturtium greens, which, if you're a normal person, that would be spinach, and the scallion tops. But again, you can use any vegetables that you want, any vegetables you happen to have on hand. You don't even need to add vegetables, technically. You could just do the chili garlic sauce and a little oil and noodles, and that would be delicious too. But this makes it a lot healthier. And I like having all the flavors and textures. In go the not quite done noodles, the al dente noodles. And in goes a third of that sauce that I made. I think a third. I just kind of add it until I think it's right. Maybe I'm only going to do a quarter of it. Obviously, if you are not as spice tolerant, you can use a red chili that doesn't really have much heat at all. Like that Mexican chili that I used is a not very spicy variety. I don't know what it's called. It's in the bulk bins and it's unnamed. Larger red chilies tend to not be so spicy. Okay, I'm gonna add a little more for my butthole. I just add it until it's a pretty color, really. And this is where if it's just too dry or if it needs the flavor, I might add a little extra soy sauce. I'm gonna taste it right now. If I can get a noodle. Now, believe it or not, that does need a little more sugar. I told you guys, this dish really likes sugar. The MSG is really hitting though. It's really nice. And we are done. You can of course garnish with some sesame seeds or nuts, peanuts, cashews, or whatever. Okay, I'm not gonna make you guys or myself wait any longer. I'm gonna taste this. I mean, I know what it tastes like. I eat it a lot in the summertime. Let's get a taste. It's like drop everything. If you're a fan of Thai food, not to say that this is a Thai dish. This is Sarah, a white person, kind of invented this based off of her knowledge of Pan-Asian cuisine. But what I really like about this sauce and this dish is what I also really like about Thai food. It's salty, it's umami, it's spicy, it's sweet, it's sour. It's literally all of the flavors and very, very intense in flavor. If not for the steak fat that I cooked this in, this dish would be vegan. And you honestly would not miss the absence of the meat. It is so intensely flavorful and unctuous and just delicious. Those pockets of eggplant add to the unctuousness too. Anyway, hope you guys try this. I know I didn't exactly give a recipe. I will try to approximate that in the video description. And bye!